The most dangerous secrets aren't locked inside government vaults. They are hidden inside corporations, behind polished brands, billion-dollar industries, and products used by millions every single day. And sometimes, the people who expose those secrets aren't outsiders. They are insiders. Because in the 1990s, one man stepped forward and challenged an industry that had spent decades controlling the narrative. Not about profits, not about competition, but about addiction. And what happened next didn't just expose a company. It forced an entire industry into the spotlight. Welcome to the Doc Does Financial History, where money, power, and history collide. And nothing is ever as simple as it looks. This is the story of Jeffrey Wigand and the tobacco industry scandal that changed everything. To understand why this moment mattered, you have to understand the world before it happened. For decades, tobacco companies publicly maintained a consistent position. Nicotine was not addictive. Even as independent research suggested otherwise, the industry continued to deny it. In 1994, top tobacco executives testified before the U.S. Congress, stating under oath that they did not believe nicotine was addictive. That statement became a defining moment, because behind the scenes, the reality was far more complex. Jeffrey Wigand wasn't a whistleblower at the beginning. He was a scientist, a biochemist with experience in both academia and industry. Wigand built a career around research and product development. In 1989, he joined Brown Williamson, one of the largest tobacco companies in the United States. His position was significant: Vice President of Research and Development. That meant access to internal research, product design strategies, and executive-level decisions. At first, it looked like a standard corporate role. But inside the company, Wigand began to see a gap between what was said publicly and what was understood internally. According to Wigand, nicotine was not treated as a neutral ingredient. It was carefully studied. Its effects were analyzed. Its delivery was controlled. Wigand later claimed that the company had a deep understanding of nicotine's addictive properties and worked to manage how it was delivered in cigarettes. He also raised concerns about the use of additives, including ammonia compounds, which he said could affect how nicotine was absorbed by the body. These claims became central to the controversy, because if true, they suggested that addiction was not accidental, but engineered. Inside a corporation, raising concerns is never simple. There are legal agreements. There are hierarchies. There are consequences. For a time, Wigand remained within the system, but tensions grew. In 1993, he was dismissed from Brown Williamson. The official reasons were disputed. The company cited internal issues. Wigand suggested that deeper conflicts were involved. Regardless of the cause, one thing was clear: he was no longer part of the system. But leaving didn't mean he could speak freely. Wigand had signed strict confidentiality agreements. These legal contracts limited what he could reveal about his time inside the company. Breaking them could result in serious legal and financial consequences. At the same time, the broader environment was changing. Public scrutiny of the tobacco industry was increasing. Lawsuits were being filed. Regulators were paying closer attention. And for the first time, insider testimony became incredibly valuable. This is where the media enters the story. The investigative program 60 Minutes began looking deeper into the tobacco industry. Producer Lowell Bergman played a key role in uncovering leads and identifying potential sources. Eventually, that search led to Wigand. At first, Wigand was reluctant. Speaking publicly meant risking everything: his finances, his career, his personal life. But it also meant telling the truth about what he had seen. After careful consideration, he agreed to cooperate. What he revealed was significant. Wigand stated that tobacco companies understood the addictive nature of nicotine and had researched ways to control its delivery. This directly contradicted the industry's public stance, especially the statements made under oath just a year earlier. But exposing information is one thing. Getting it published is another. Before Wigand's interview could air, legal pressure intensified. Brown Williamson warned that broadcasting the interview could violate Wigand's confidentiality agreement. This created a serious dilemma for CBS. If they aired the segment, they risked a costly lawsuit. If they didn't, they would be withholding a major public interest story. In a controversial decision, CBS initially chose not to air the full interview. This moment became a turning point. because it showed that even major media organizations could be influenced by legal and corporate pressure. But the story didn't stay contained. Details of Wigand's claims began to surface through other outlets, including the Wall Street Journal. Public interest grew, pressure increased, and eventually, CBS reversed its decision. The interview aired on 60 Minutes. When it finally reached the public, the impact was immediate. For the first time, a high-ranking insider had publicly challenged the tobacco industry's claims from the inside. It changed the tone of the conversation. No longer just speculation or external criticism, but testimony from someone who had been there. Wigand's statements also aligned with broader regulatory efforts. At the time, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, under Commissioner David Kessler, was investigating whether nicotine could be classified as a drug. Wigand's insights added weight to that investigation. They helped reinforce the idea that nicotine was not just a passive ingredient, but an active substance with measurable effects. The legal and political consequences began to build. State governments pursued lawsuits against tobacco companies, seeking compensation for healthcare costs related to smoking. Evidence accumulated. Public pressure intensified. And eventually, the industry faced one of the largest legal settlements in history. In 1998, the Master Settlement Agreement was signed. Major tobacco companies agreed to pay billions of dollars to U.S. states. They also accepted new restrictions on advertising and marketing, particularly those targeting younger audiences. Public health campaigns were expanded. It was a landmark moment. Wigand wasn't the only factor behind this outcome, but his role was significant. His testimony helped shift public perception and added momentum to the broader case against the industry. But while the public impact was massive, the personal cost was equally real. After speaking out, Wigand faced lawsuits and financial strain. His credibility was challenged. His character was questioned. Because when powerful institutions are exposed, they often fight back. This is what makes the story more than just a corporate scandal. It becomes a story about systems. Large systems are built to survive. They resist change. They protect themselves. They adapt when necessary. The tobacco industry did not disappear after the scandal. It evolved. Stricter regulations were introduced. Warning labels became more prominent. Public awareness increased. But the system itself continued to operate. And that raises a deeper question. What does it really mean to change a system? In most cases, change is not immediate. It happens gradually, through pressure, through exposure, through moments that shift public understanding. Wigand's story reached a wider audience through the film The Insider. The movie dramatized the events surrounding his decision to speak out, the media struggle, and the personal consequences he faced. It brought the story to millions of viewers around the world. But beyond the drama, the core message remained the same. Information matters. Who controls it? Who reveals it? And what happens when it becomes public? In every major industry, there are internal dynamics that the public rarely sees. Decisions made behind closed doors. Strategies shaped by incentives, trade-offs that never appear in official statements. Most of the time, those details stay hidden. But occasionally, someone steps forward. And when they do, the impact can be profound. Not because they destroy the system overnight, but because they change how people see it. Jeffrey Wigand didn't end the tobacco industry, but he forced it to confront its own narrative. He introduced doubt where there had been certainty. And once that doubt exists, it changes everything. Because when people begin to question a system, they start demanding answers. And those demands can reshape industries, policies, and public awareness over time. Today, the legacy of that moment still exists. In stricter regulations, in public health campaigns, in a broader understanding of addiction and risk. But the larger lesson goes beyond tobacco, because the same dynamic exists everywhere. Power and information are always connected, and the tension between them never fully disappears. Somewhere, in every system, there are truths that aren't immediately visible, and every now and then, an insider reveals them. Jeffrey Wigand was one of those insiders, not because he set out to change history, but because he chose not to stay silent. And in doing so, he left behind a question that still matters today, not just about tobacco, but about every system we trust. What else do we not see? If this gave you a new perspective, Make sure to subscribe, because the truth is out there, and we're just getting started.